This is Jonathan Aguilar, fifth Pro Boxing fans, joined by Gareth A Davies. Gareth, a dramatic night at the O2 last night. You were with TalkSport, running around. How was it?
Well, I wasn't running around. I was stuck in the desk actually because I was presenting rather than doing the post-fight interviews. It was really good, Mr. Nagyoff, um, and it was great to be there. A very powerful night because of the de-escalation of Joseph Parker's career and the star being born in the career of Fabio Wardley. Um, and it kind of went how many of us were seeing it, which was Joseph would outbox Fabio. I don't think we saw there'd be so much drama in the fight, relentless as it was, because Joseph Parker didn't sit behind his jab, and I'm not sure you can do that with Fabio Wardley because he's always coming to bring a war with you, which is probably the only style he knows, and he's hunting you. But many of us, picked Parker to win on points with the caveat, or I certainly did, the caveat that Fabio Wardley would be very dangerous. He was dangerous at the end of the second round where he might have had Parker out then. He was obviously dangerous with a minute 54 seconds as referee Howard Foster saw it in the 11th round. I had him 7 rounds to 3 up at the time, Parker, in that going into that 11th round. But yeah, it was an amazing night and a fantastic fight.
Let's go straight into that stoppage. I haven't actually had a chance to watch it back yet, but from what you've seen live, and I don't know if you've had the chance to watch it back,
Yep,
but
a few times.
early or not?
No, in the balance of in the balance of safety and kind of looking back over it in the moment, I think my internal reaction was, "Oh, this feels a little bit early,
Mm.
slightly premature." As Howard just slid in there along the ropes, didn't he? Just between them, as there was a kind of natural pause. But looking back on it, we've got the monitors in front of us for a start, and I've looked back at over it today. There were about 40 punches thrown by Fabio. There was still a minute and 6 seconds to go in the round. Um, Joseph had thrown one punch back. A lot of punches didn't land full on him, but he was clearly exhausted, bent over, using the ropes for support. He probably could have gone on, but I belong to that school of thought, Jonathan, that I'd rather it be 10 seconds too early than
Mm.
10 seconds too late. And um, had it gone on for another 20 seconds, it might have been too long.
Mm.
My feeling was that obviously Howard Foster, referee Howard Foster, is renowned or infamous for the Froch and Groves, Carl Froch, George Groves' first fight in Manchester, where he pulled George away from Carl and saved him from probable doom in that fight after Groves had dropped Froch early in the bout. And then obviously we got the 80,000 at Wembley and the storyline that goes on forever, and the heralding of big fight nights again at Wembley Stadium after a long gap. Um, yeah, I think it was okay, and I think Parker was hurt. He may have been able to get to the end of the round, and then he may have survived the 12th. I mean, I had the perception. I was allowed the perception of the corners because we were going into the corners on our broadcast, and Andy Lee, instructions from the corner. I mean, not the perception. We were hearing the instruction from Andy Lee saying to Parker, "You're well ahead after about 8, 9 rounds. Just outbox him. Stay behind your jab." But I think he was exhausted, and Fabio Wardley showed on the back of all of that, Jonathan, that he has world class heart, cojones, chin, power, but yet without having all the technical capabilities to go in there and be a pure boxer. But he's certainly got great fighting instinct and great defensive or great survival instincts in there as well. It was a magnificent spectacle, and I would quite happily see it again, by the way.
Mm. Some of the chat today and last night was Parker a bit too heavy? coming into the clash. What do you think?
I think he was. George Lockhart won't have that. Andy Lee won't have that because they were building this super tank of a heavyweight who they'd taken up to a 129 kilos. I think that's about um, I think that's 11 kilos more than he was now. So another stone and a half, up to about 20 stone. They took him at one point and then reduced his weight. They built his body up. He's certainly strong. I mean, he wasn't dropped by Fabio, was he? I mean, it's amazing that neither of them went down as well. The number of punches that were thrown, if not the biggest punches landing the entire time. But that was testament to both men's strength, durability, and conditioning as well. Um, yeah, I remember saying to Paul Smith, who was working with me to my right, along with Spencer Oliver and Andy Clark, I might have even said it on the broadcast, is it going to be telling as we go into these late rounds? Is it going to slow him slightly? And I think it did in the last quarter, last third of the fight. I do think we saw a slowing from him. And it may have cost him being 18 and a half stone to Fabio's 17.
With Joseph now, I mean, there's so many heavyweights he could fight. Dubois was there last night. There was loads there last night. Where does he go from here?
Well, it was a British who's who of heavyweights last night with starting in the list Tyson Fury, obviously Fabio Wardley in the ring, Dillian White, Derek Chisora, Moses Itauma, Lawrence Okoli. Who am I forgetting? Jarrell Miller and Ajit Kabayel, not from Britain. Am I missing someone there?
I believe Joyce was there as well. I think I saw him once.
Oh, I wondered if he was there. I thought I
Yeah,
saw him across the
Joyce
ring.
was there.
Shame Anthony Joshua wasn't there, you know.
Yeah, and it would have been nice to see Usyk there, but
Yeah.
unfortunately he
No, but
wasn't.
particularly Anthony Joshua,
Yeah,
because there was like a brotherhood of heavyweights there last night. Almost like the entire crew. I think David Adeleye was there as well,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah.
I think I'd like to see Anthony Joshua there to take a celebration from the crowd at some point, you know, and
Mm.
an acknowledgement. And
Okoli was there as well. I don't know if you mentioned
Coley
him.
as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Lawrence Coley. Yeah, it was brilliant. Sorry, your question was.
Where does Parker go from here? Any of them? Anyone particularly?
Yeah, or if that belt is vacated by Usyk, maybe they could just rematch over the belt. Um, but if they might have been a bit quicker on their feet and remonstrated about the decision today and made a bit more noise about that, in my view, to try
Mm.
and make remonstrations to the WBO that they felt the stoppage was early. Obviously, without pointing an accusing finger at Howard Foster. He's got previous on this. Um, but I think he was justified in his decision, even though I understand some people not being happy with it. Some people want the bloodlust. I thought Joseph had taken a lot of punches at that point. Um, and he wasn't holding, you know?
Yeah.
He wasn't, he should have been holding, if anything. He sagged back onto the ropes, didn't he? And Foster was very near. It wasn't like he wasn't observing closely. So Parker could fight a number of people. He could fight. Um, he could fight Kabayel, Itauma, Dubois, Hergovich. He's
Hmm.
fought Zhang and Bakoli. He could fight Anthony Joshua when he comes back. There's loads of options, and as he says, he wants to rebuild. But it wouldn't surprise me. Even though I think Fabio Wardley's become an overnight sensation and a bit of a star was born because of the minerals and the abilities he showed, um, I think the British public would get behind him because he's a great story, a very humble man, and that story of coming from a recruitment consultant, white collar boxing, from being in working in an office 9 to 5 to where he is now sitting on the cusp of challenging Oleksandr Usyk is a fairy tale story to narrate.
Yeah. And for Fabio, obviously, Alexander Usyk is the undisputed champion. I don't know if you've reached out to his team or him today to see what they thought, but do you expect that fight to happen next?
Well, right now it'll happen next because it's being promised by Frank Warren because the WBO title is next on the line and Fabio holds the interim for that. Usyk will make a decision now over the next probably 30, 40 days, they'll all be talking behind the scenes. I have not reached out to Usyk's team, but last week they were saying that he was going to fight the winner and he was going to stay around till he was 41. I
Mm.
suppose now it depends whether it makes commercial sense for Oleksandr Usyk to fight Fabio Wardley if they can promise a Tottenham Hotspur stadium or a venue as big as that. Now, it felt fairly full in there last night in the O2 Arena, didn't it? You know, it does contain 20,000 fans when it's
Yeah,
full. It can't have been far short of that last night.
at
It
least
was
10,000. I would have thought we're in there.
at least 10,000.
Yeah, maybe more.
I
Because
think
a lot of the top section there were people there, and that's when you know it's definitely over 10.
there wasn't a screen. I failed to look because I was concentrating on the presentation. Was there a screen or not?
What above the ring?
No, was the whole hall screened off at all?
Oh, I believe one section maybe behind where you guys were sitting,
Okay, but it
that
was.
bit. But
So
other than
I
that,
was told, yeah,
it
I
was
was. I
open.
think there were 15,000 in there last night.
Mm.
It was certainly a really good crowd, and obviously it was a triumphant atmosphere afterwards. When Fabio Wardley's hand was raised in victory. Again, Usyk inhabits that lofty perch now where he can make big decisions based around finances and where he sits. So the jury's out on that. We're yet to see what will absolutely happen. I mean, obviously, as you said, it would have been nice to have had him there last night, and we could have spoken to him and got reaction and seen if there was a positive from him about fighting Fabio as well as Parker, because Parker was the natural shoe-in for him,
Mm.
and obviously the availability of, say, going to Auckland, his manager Spencer Brown had spoken to me about maybe going to Auckland and doing it in a big stadium, 50, 60,000, going down under. So we are yet to see. I can't see Usyk going to Portman Road next spring though. But who knows?
And lastly, Gareth, do you see a way that Fabio Wardley can beat Alexander Usyk?
I think again, even more than Parker, you have to make Usyk an enormous favourite on paper. He also is a southpaw. He'll also find angles that Parker didn't find for the ducking body shapes of Wardley. He'll also be harder to hit, and Fabio will be hit from angles that will be created by Usyk, which he always does. One of the things that you've got to realise with Fabio is his heart doesn't get broken. So it could well be a long, long fight. And in a long, long fight, you have to give Fabio Wardley a chance of hurting his opponent. So slim, yes. None, no. You've got to give him a slight chance of beating Usyk, but I see Usyk beating him comfortably on points.
Gareth, I think we'll leave it there. I know you've got your William Hill thing next, so enjoy that.
See you in Manchester on Saturday.
I won't be there, but we will have someone there. Chaos in Manchester in a couple of months as well, which is all in white.
Well,
What?
if that happens, because
Yeah,
for me, I got wind of through interviews they were doing. Who knows if Moses is fighting on the 13th of December now? That may be,
Frank ruled it out, but I don't know.
yeah, it may be sliding by the wayside. And there were hints yesterday that Chisora and White, if they do fight, could be on the 20th.
Hmm,
And what's to say they don't move that to London now as well, rather than have it in Manchester? You know.
possibly
So we
interesting.
shall see. But it was weird yesterday because we had that big lineup of heavyweights, but there wasn't anything announced. Ditto with Ajit Kabayel and his Germany fight in January under the auspices of Queensbury.
Yeah, cool. Gareth, appreciate your time. All the
Always a
best.
pleasure.